Hi, I'm Linda Mechner, back again, your host for Why Eating Healthy is Not Enough. I'm here today with Debora Wayne, founder of the Biofield Healing Institute. Debora, thank you so much for coming on here with me. And I'd love to invite you to share your story and how you got into doing this amazing work.
I would love to. Thanks for inviting me. And how I got into this work was not by choice. It was by ruining my health. I literally crashed and burned many years ago. I found myself one morning on a Monday morning just crying my eyes out, laying on the floor of my closet. And I couldn't get dressed and I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't get up. I couldn't go to work that day. And I was in pain from head to toe, and I was out of ideas. I was out of willpower, trying to figure it out, trying to fake it till you make it. I just was out of ideas. And that day, which felt like at the time the worst day of my life, it literally was the turning point because I reached out for help and I got some professional help. And in doing so, wow, I had no idea what I was in for, but I ended up really taking everything out of the closet, my inner closet, and really taking a look at what was going on in my life, my emotions, my mind, my career, my relationships. And I ended up reinventing myself and everything changed for me. And in that process, one of the main things that I did was I began to meditate again, which I had sort of left by the wayside several years prior. And in meditation, I started to have these amazing experiences where I became aware of life force energy flowing through my hands. And my intuition came on full bloom during this time in my life as well. And I got in touch with my higher purpose, which was first, heal myself, second, use this to help others. And I have never looked back. And so if you fast forward over 30 years now, I've been able to help literally tens of thousands of people in 150 countries so they don't have to go into a closet crisis and go as far down the rabbit hole of, health hell that I did. That's how I ended up here today, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's such a touching story. And as you were talking, my heart just poured out because I know what it's like to have that I can't do it anymore feeling. And that's kind of what inspired this is because one of the most common strategies is well, I'm just going to eat better and exercise more. And it's
absolutely,
it's punishing.
Oh my God, I've tried that for years. I was an eat better, exercise more girl most of my life.
Yeah. And health takes so much more. And so tell me about the biofield healing. I really am so curious about what that entails and how you came up with that.
Yeah, well, I prepared the soil for it to come into me. It was not something I invented or created or wished for, or prayed for, tried to manifest. It literally was very unexpected. I got interested in energy healing because of a workshop I was invited to. And at the time, I thought everyone was crazy. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to either touch certain points of my body or not touch me at all and help my body heal and help me with emotional pain? And I thought they were just making this stuff up. And many years after that first workshop, I found myself teaching those workshops. It's really interesting, but there's a world of information out there in the universe, and it's actually internal, not out there. And because we're so out there, texting, typing, Instagramming, we're not taking enough time to go internal. But when I crashed and burned in my health, I had to take a lot more time to get to know myself, to find out what really made me tick, what lit me up. And in doing that, I spent a lot more alone time and quiet time and meditation time and time in nature. And in doing those things, I discovered, wow, there was inner guidance that was showing me the body really is designed to heal itself if it's in the right environment. And I became a Reiki practitioner. I went back to school and got a lot of degrees that tiptoed around spiritual and energy healing because I was afraid to come out of the closet with that for quite a few years. But eventually, one day out of nowhere, I went to do a Reiki session, and the force, well, first I heard an audible voice, quite frankly, that said, "No more Reiki, you're done with Reiki." I heard this internally. And then it felt like somebody turned on a fire hydrant, and the strongest force of energy that I've ever experienced in my life came pouring out of my hands, and it didn't stop. And I intuitively knew no touching, but just to work in the field around the person, the client that I was working on. And I began to do that over the course of 10 days at a yoga workshop I was teaching. And I've never in my life seen such dramatic healing results in less than an hour. And after that day, I absolutely couldn't ignore this any longer. And I started experimenting, and for a year or two, literally just client after client after client in person in my office typically is how I was working at that time. And everything changed. Everything in my life changed. I never looked back. I never did a Reiki session again. I never did a hypnosis session again. I didn't do counseling in the traditional way again. This was the birth of biofield healing. And now what's so fascinating is all the science is flooding in now that validates what I've been doing since way back in 2006 when this came in. It's both ancient spiritual healing, and it's founded on the principles of quantum physics and all the new frontier science. There's a whole area called biofield science. See, this is something that is well known and classified in physics. It's not well known in conventional medical wisdom, but
Mm.
it is without a doubt the most potent, effective, and fast acting way to heal both physical pain and illness, as well as things like depression, anxiety, trauma from the past, accidents, injuries, even binge eating and eating sensitivities to foods. There's just such a wide range of problems that this works on. It is truly what I call high speed healing, and it's all based on science.
And is this something that you do on people as a session, or can people learn to do it on themselves?
Both. Well, I worked for many years in an office one-on-one, and then I moved towards group process, and then I became aware of remote healing, and I started working remotely. And now for many years now, I've only worked virtually, and I can work with groups of unlimited numbers, and everyone gets individual results. It's quite incredible what's possible. So I still take a handful of clients who are very, very, very urgent cases, and then I have group programs that help people as well. And I also train practitioners. So in the practitioner training, when you graduate from that, everyone can do this. And they, by the end of the course, have the ability, and they'll have the experience of working on adults, children, animals, in person, at a distance, and on themselves. So they're really, it covers the whole gamut.
Wow, how exciting. I mean, it's sort of
Really exciting.
like Reiki 4.0.
Well, that's exactly it. I joke and I say it's Reiki on steroids. It really, it's amplified. It is a much faster acting than
Mhm.
any other method I'm aware of. And in fact, I've gone into a science research labs a couple of times with a volunteer, and they've shown measurable results. And this is a lab that's been researching energy healing of all types for over 25 years. They said they have never seen results like this, that in the first session, in less than an hour, measurable results of 51% increase in energy and decrease in pain and symptoms. And the highest they've studied so far and found was 10%.
Wow.
And we're talking even acupuncture. So this is getting, and by the way, we had the volunteers go back into the lab to be measured for 2 additional days with no more healing. And the
Hmm.
results go up. They increase, they don't decrease. It went up as high as 97% from one session in less than an hour. I mean, it's unheard of in any other method.
Right.
So this is what's super exciting for people who are suffering. My goodness, right? I mean, I don't ever ask anyone to take a pill, a supplement, stop eating the foods they love, go to extensive physical therapy. It's non-touch, non-harmful, non-invasive in any way. It's so simple.
That's so impressive too. I mean, I want a session.
I don't blame you. Everyone should. This should be in everyone's, I feel everyone in every household should have this in their back pocket, even if all you do is use it on yourself and your children.
Yeah, I think that our education system is going to change dramatically over the next 10, 20 years,
Yes.
because things that were useful in the
Yes.
past are not so useful anymore. I mean, a good knowledge of, European history is, well,
Right.
we all need the basic fundamentals, but memorizing the dates of the battle of whatever is just so not important. But knowing how to, balance a checkbook, how
Yes.
to communicate effectively, how to do some self-healing, those are really important skills.
They are. And, it's not to say that any of the other methods are wrong or don't work, but it's no different. I love what you're saying, because it's no different than if I want to go to Florida, I can drive, I could ride a bicycle, I could walk, I could take a jet plane. They all will get you there. But
Right.
I like to go fast personally.
Well, with healing, who doesn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, back to the, you know, for a lot of people, when they decide they want to get healthy, their
Yes.
first thoughts are, well, I'm going to clean up my diet. That means, they might say, well, I'm going to give up sugar. I'm going to eat more vegetables. I'm going to, do keto, like whatever their thing is. And I'm going to exercise more. So maybe just talk a little bit about why that is, while it's important,
Yes.
why it's just not enough.
Yeah, it's a great, great question here. So, of course, we eat every single day. Most people eat multiple times a day. What you put in is definitely affecting, and we have to look at that. Garbage in, garbage out. Simple as that. However, I've worked with literally thousands of people who say to me, Deborah, I have eliminated sugar, wheat, dairy, gluten, carbs, grains, and my stomach still hurts all the time. I have pain. I have vomiting. I have symptoms. I have brain fog. I'm exhausted all the time. I don't understand. This makes no sense. And so, what I have found in every case, no matter whether, and a lot of them have pain as well. I'm sure you see this too, joint pain,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
All kinds of pain that comes and goes, or maybe it never leaves. They have insomnia, just so many problems, migraines, and they're not eating bad foods.
Right.
So, what I have found is that we're missing three key components. One, we must examine the beliefs, the thoughts, the ideas that are going on in here all day long. Science has shown the average person thinks 60,000 thoughts per day.
Mm.
If most of those thoughts, well, and let me back up, your thoughts are a force as real as electricity. They
Mhm.
are emitting a signal to your body, to your organs, your nervous system, your immune system. So if those thoughts are negative, critical, they're damaging you, and you won't even see it, know it, because it's invisible. And nobody's taught you how to use your thinking mind properly. And what I find is most people are thinking about what they don't want. They're focused on what they don't want, not on what's possible, which is a completely different message that you're sending to your whole system. Even just hearing the words, or if I ask you, think about what you don't want, what you don't like about your body, your health. How does that feel compared to what's possible for you? What's something that you could just dream up if it was possible? How would that feel? It's completely different energy, the feeling of it.
Right.
So we have to find and release the damaging thoughts, number one. And number two, we have to find and release the emotions that get stuck in our body and actually cause symptoms. Again, the emotions release chemicals. We're talking real live drugs that affect the nervous system, the immune system, the hormones, the organs. These emotions are probably the biggest factor in why people don't lose weight, don't heal, have all these problems, even though they're cleaning up their diet. We've seen from science again that emotions are perhaps the number one contributor to symptoms.
Mm,
And we live in a world that tells us what? Figure it out. Think about it more, harder, longer. Google it, research it. You know,
right. It
Nobody's
could only do it better, right?
yes. Nobody's getting to the root of emotions. And that's the first thing I find. And then I work with people. And when it comes to food, oh my goodness, food and weight, there's no denying that emotions are a huge culprit there and why cleaning up your diet isn't enough. Many people are eating for the wrong reasons. They're eating for emotional reasons. They're covering over emotions, trying to suppress, deny, repress them.
Hmm.
It's so huge, Linda, the emotional piece.
Yeah, it is. And I think too, I mean, there is that emotional piece, that emotional driver for our
Yes,
eating habits.
absolutely.
But even when, we white knuckle it,
Yes.
right, and stay on the straight and narrow
Yeah,
and clean up the food, unless we change those emotions, the
absolutely.
pain of the emotions is still causing that damage. Like even if we can control the food,
Absolutely.
that emotional piece is
So
still playing out.
you see, there shouldn't need to be white knuckling and control. That's a sign that you're not going to heal because you're putting a band-aid over an infected wound, and it will never heal if you don't clean that wound out, which is what I mean when I say go deeper to the hidden reasons for the problem. There should be no white knuckling. When I work with people, they write to me all the time and they say, my God, Deborah, I lost weight without trying. I gravitate now towards vegetables and juicing and all these healthy foods that I had to make myself eat before and that I hated. And they say, I go to the gym now, or I take a walk, or I do yoga. And I couldn't make myself do that before with all the willpower in the world. See, because when you raise the vibration, when you clear away the trauma and the pain and the hurt, the fear, the anger, the resentment, your natural self really will gravitate towards the foods that are right for you and the movement that's right for you, because your body loves to move. It's designed to move. It's designed to feel good, not feel pain.
Right, right. I know you have a super special thing to share with our listeners. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that. And the link is going to be directly after this video, so they can click right over to it. But maybe you could share a little bit about
Love to.
what is in that
I
link.
love to. So this is a combination for those of you that like to listen and those of you that like to read. I have something for everyone. And those of you that like to experience and feel. So it's a bundle of gifts for you called Live Pain Free. Find and remove the hidden reasons for chronic pain, depression, anxiety, trauma, binge eating, burnout, and more. And it's a combination. You'll get in this gift package, you'll get an MP3 that you can download to any device, which will go deeper than we've had time to do today on the areas that need to be healed and what's really going on underneath the surface beside, why you hurt, why you're hurting, and why you can't get to the root, even no matter what you try. So the MP3 will give you information for the left side of your brain. And then those of you who like to just dive in and experience, there's a demonstration session of the biofield healing immersion method. That's my proprietary method. That's my superpower, where I've been able to help so many people rapidly release, not just understand it better, but release the symptoms of pain patterns, problems of any kind, not just physical. Some people come for emotional and financial and relationship pain. Like it works on all these problems. And then there's also a copy of my book, which was a #1 bestseller on Amazon in 6 categories. And it's called Why Do I Still Hurt? Rapid Relief for Chronic Pain, Depression, Anxiety, and More. So if you're one of the people who has tried everything and still you have pain of any kind and you can't figure it out, you want to read my book, you want to listen to the MP3, and you really want to do the demonstration session of the biofield healing immersion. This stuff is designed, all 3 of these gifts is designed to give you results, not just more information. It's designed to help you release the actual deeper root reasons that are causing you pain and problems. And I just hope you'll use them and take the action, and then let me know if you have any questions. We're here to help, and happy to help.
That is it's so generous of you to put out that amount of support for our listeners. And I know I am going to be checking it out, absolutely. And I hope all of you take her up on this generous gift. And I hope you've gotten a lot out of today's interview. Debora, thank you so much for being here with me. This has been fabulous and fascinating. And I'm just so glad we got a chance to connect.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored and thrilled, and I love the work you're doing. It's so important, and just thank you for including me.
Absolutely. All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time. And remember to click the link that comes right after this video.